Hello and welcome to this afternoon. This group is all about creating calm, confidence, connection, and today I thought we'd talk about the real challenge that comes with carrying a mental load when we look at our to-do lists and everything that needs to be done. So I'm taking off my Christmas hat for this one and looking at our normal day-to-day tasks. And I thought it might be interesting for you guys if I was to share a little bit about my to-do list for today and just the challenges and frustrations that we all face when we're dealing with bureaucracy, when we're trying to get things done. And I've got a funny little story about a particular government department anomaly, challenge that came up, which I'll get to. And sure, at the moment I've got a few more things to be getting on with and doing in my life, but I just, every so often we come to these tasks and just realise how draining they are, how much emotional energy they take from us. And if you're in a situation where you've got looking after kids who have special needs, or parenting, if you're what we call perhaps part of that sandwich generation, where you might be looking after children and looking after your parents or parents-in-law, if you have English as a second language, if you're going through any sort of mental health concerns or lots of stress in your life, the challenges that we have with carrying this mental house administration load is very real. It's very real. So, for example, today, busy day, like we all have full days. I don't see clients today, so I don't technically work. However, my day started about 7:30, and I kind of realised I've actually done 8 hours with all the things involved. So, at the moment, I'm dealing with Centrelink for a couple of different reasons, and this is the funny story I'm going to tell you about. And one of the things we had to do was upload a form. So I printed the form, I filled it out, I scanned it, went to upload it, and it told me that the file size was too big. Yes, so on one of their forms that they asked me to do, I couldn't upload it because the file was too big. So it looks like there'll be another trip to Centrelink in there. So I'm sure we all have those types of stories to tell where we just step back and go, that is so ridiculous. You know, in the olden days, before everything was done online, we used to fill out forms to the best of our ability and then take them in and hand them over the counter. And the person on the other end of the counter would help us chase up the information, or would get a request for more information. But at least we could do that initial stage. Whereas nowadays, you can't. You get stuck and you've got to do it step by step and complete everything before you can actually lodge the claim. And this is just one example of what's on the to-do list. So I've got my diary and I'm going to share with you a couple of things and then a couple of tips. So hang on. Alright, so I started the day doing some digital filing, so taking old files and with some help, getting them online. So that was today, about 7:30. I've consulted with another psychologist today, which is part of what we do regularly. I have sent emails to banks. I have rung banks. I have rung schools. I've emailed the accountant. I have rung up a database provider to get on a database. I've looked up websites that actually aren't live yet. What else have I done? Oh, and I've walked our guide dog and taken her down to the cafe where we sat and did some guide dog training as well. I've spoken with clients, and I'm sure there's been more, but they're the things that are on my have done list rather than my to-do list. So that's my number one tip. Number one tip of being organised is have an accountability partner who will encourage you to write down everything you've done. Kind of 2 tips in there. So what's an accountability partner? There's someone that is going to check in with you. Have you done what you've said you're going to do? Have you written the list? Have you rung that people? Have you written things down? So for me, my new accountability partner is my mum. And I've said to her, I want to write things down in my journal that I've done so I can remember what I've done, who I've spoken to, what needs to happen next. But I'm really, really bad at doing it. You know, if you're like me, you'll get to the end of the day, you'll hop into bed and you'll go, oh, I didn't write that down. Oh, I should have done that. Tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. But I don't. So I'm creating a new habit. And as part of creating my new habit, I've enlisted an accountability partner, my mum, to remind me of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and why it's important to me. So she's very good, my mum. She's like, have you written that down? And I'm like, no, but I will when I get off the phone. So keeping me in line, keeping me on track. So when we have a lot to do, when we're carrying this huge mental load, it's really easy to get to the end of the day and say to yourself, I've achieved nothing. What have I done? I'm useless. I can't even remember to write these things down. We start to beat ourselves up. We engage in negative thinking, and it totally detracts from our self-care. It totally detracts from our feelings of confidence and of calm. So, do we want that? No. We want positive self-care, positive thinking, recognizing what you've done, giving yourself credit. It's like, wow, I did all this today. You know, I ticked all these things off. And yes, there's another, huge to-do list that I haven't got to yet, but I've done this. All right, so give yourself some credit. Pat yourself on the back, because it's hard. It's really difficult. And it's a furphy. It's a lie that online has made it easier, because it really hasn't. It's kind of made it more complicated. Okay? It's not just you. It's not just you. And if you're looking for an accountability partner and there's not one really present, let me know. Put it in the group. I'm happy to be your accountability partner in the group. Tell me what you want. And if you're listening to this later as a podcast and you're after an accountability partner, let me know. Write in. You can come and join the group, or you might want to work with me one-on-one. Because we all have different things we want to achieve. We all have different obstacles. And it helps all of us to be able to step back and have someone step back with us to see what we can't see, to see what we need, to help us be accountable for the stuff we want to achieve. Okay? If this resonates with you, let me know. Share it, share the video, share the podcast if you're listening to the podcast, and I will catch you again another day. Oh, and I forgot to say, most importantly, I'm resuming my 90-day live podcast. We've had an intermission. This is my welcome back. This is it. So the podcast, Hi Georgie, will be continuing with connection and also with self-care, which is what we looked at today. Okay? Till next time. And if you're just watching now, you'll need to go back and listen, because I'm all done for now and I'm on to the next thing on my day. Okay, bye.